Well, Vortex, we've traveled a little farther than we were. We didn't have to do all the work. The river actually did what the river's supposed to do. You see? My hat fell off and got soaking wet, but at least it's now sticking to my head, so that won't happen again. You know, just being out here reminds me of this Talking Heads song, Nothing But Flowers. It's off their last album. It's a really beautiful song. This one guitar part makes me cry, it's so pretty. But the most significant line in the entire song is, and as things fell apart, nobody paid much attention. Ain't that the truth? He's talking about how we're eventually going to go backwards because we have all these things that people don't appreciate. And he's like speaking from the future, talking about how badly he misses all these things about Western civilization. That song was written in 1989, I think. I think the 80s was like the last good era. Like, well, I shouldn't say that. The 90s was okay. But I remember when the new millennium happened. I didn't want it to happen. I really wish that the world could have just been over then and there, but I guess God had other plans. Here we are. But I'm one of those old cranks. I'm not like Henry David Thoreau. I think that if Henry David Thoreau had existed in today's day and age, he probably would have killed himself. Because everything is just so predictably terrible. And, you know, there's still really good moments like this one. You come out in nature and you can appreciate shit. Look. Told y'all I'd film the birds before they all die from these ominous towers that are looming over us, reminding us that we don't have any say over what happens in this world. I mean, that's not true. Not entirely. Obviously, we do have a say in like what we do in our own personal life, but I don't think that there's such a thing as private property. You know, a lot of people are talking about, you know, by 2030 we're not going to be able to own property and everything will be owned and distributed by the government. I mean, isn't it kind of sort of already? I mean, just because you own the house, you know, you still got to pay like property taxes on it and shit. My friend Kimberly has a fuck ton of land. But she told me that, you know, she had to talk with like city planners and shit whenever she was going out there to her property to like, you know, build on it and shit. So it's like they just want to say in everything that you do. That's why it doesn't make sense to me, like, why people continue to follow the laws and, like, do what they're told to do. Like, isn't it kind of obvious that all of that doesn't mean anything? And I don't know why people have to act like they're so badass all because they, you know, break a law. I mean, I know I talk a bunch of shit, like, I do what I want. I don't wear my seatbelt, right? I'm still wearing this life jacket just because I don't trust myself to not fall out of this fucking, whatever you call it, inner tube. Second I take this bitch off, I'm gonna drown. And I'm not a strong swimmer either, so that'd be so like me to drown in this river today. That'd be kind of cool though if that happened. Then I wouldn't have to keep waiting for Jesus.